The best thing about opportunity is we each get the same 24 hours. Not to stress the hand that we're dealt, but to parlay the hand that we have. So as the sun dawns on cities that don't sleep, rise with that same energy too. Stay tight with day ones, but don't fear new vibes, and above all else, remain true to you. Introducing the crew. Welcome to the show.
When you make that left,
we at the summit.
It's gonna blow your mind.
Up, up, up.
Oh, looking good, guys. Yes.
What's up? It's your girl, Josina Anderson.
It's your boy, Morris Chestnut. Yeah. And it's your boy, Fred Smoot.
It's Smooth Fred High. Oh my God.
It's a brand new season to seize on the season.
The Jets got ton, but they got sauce. Gordon.
After games in our lives with interesting people.
Who's pulling the trigger? All right. Come on, JoJo, could you please hurry up? Joe's gonna take a long time for me.
I do my usual. All right, I'm ready.
Oh, finally. Over 2 hours. It's all good.
So to keep it real simple for NFL talk, mixed with real talk on our lives and your lives, sit back, relax, turn up the crew, tap into the crew, get turned with the crew. New crew, NYC, in Brooklyn, still here.
What up, what up, what up? It's your girl, Josina Anderson, host of The Crew, and we are back large and in effect. A full crew in the building. We are talking about Morris Chestnut, Terrell Owens, the Hall of Famer Fred Smoot, the veteran cornerback that used to play for the NFL, obviously, and Clarence Hill, writer for the Star Telegram, the Cowboys writer. Everybody in the building is 2-0. What?
Yeah,
we got to talk about that. Is that going to even last? We'll see. You know, they're going to have a whole bunch to say about that. But before we even get to CREWS Crib, I got to let you know we got a very special guest that should be joining us on the show today. It is none other than rapper, songwriter, producer, all that extraordinaire, and Jets fan, Method Man, joining us in the building. So we will have that soon. Before we get to the show, I'll let you know you can find us on Twitter, on YouTube, youtube.com/thecrewshow.com, and obviously on Instagram. Look for clips on social and all that. But for no further ado, we are going to go right into the crew call. All right, look who's in the building.
Yeah.
He is in the building.
Yeah.
Morris, what you got to say for yourself?
Hey, listen, I have to represent because, you know, we still the kings of the East right now. I mean, you know, everybody's 2-0 here, but the Eagles are still the reigning NFC East champion. So I just want to represent for a minute.
Yeah, he has a point.
Not really. Not really. He ain't really got a point. At the end of the day, that was last year. Last year don't matter right now. And at the end of the day, if the object is to win championships, you came up short just like the rest of us. You ain't the king of nothing, Morris, nothing.
Okay. Well, hey, Fred, the object is to win. Y'all didn't do that last year. Y'all had a losing record. You said the object is to win. We at least won the East. We won the conference. What y'all win?
You know what? We won off the field this year.
Yeah,
we got new everything right here. We got the new Cosmail around here. Everything new.
Y'all won the top 10 draft pick. That's what y'all won last year.
No, we didn't.
Okay, that's good for everybody. As of right now, you both have points, but at the end of the day, like I said, the NFC champs. You know, obviously the Philadelphia Eagles, we went to the Super Bowl. So again, Fred, y'all got to catch up. You know what I mean? Y'all got to get on that train. Y'all got to catch up.
Let me interject. Hold on. Let the reporter interject one thing. Let me inject some facts.
Oh God!
Hurry up. No team has repeated in NFC East since 2003, 2004.
Good point.
You're right.
No team has repeated. Since the Eagles did it in 2003, 2004.
I want to make a point. The last time either y'all won something, I had a flat top. Where we at now? I had a flat top. I was curling the bottom of my pants.
Oh, you know what? If you really want to break some facts out of here and talk numbers, last time we played the Eagles and the Cowboys, we beat both of them. All right, so at the end of the day, what you talking about? Sam Howell ain't never lost to the Cowboys. So come on, I don't care what you say now.
At the end of the day, no team has been more impressive to start the season than the Cowboys, who beat their combined opponents, the Kings of New York, 70-10 in their first two games. You can say what you want about the Jets not having Aaron Rodgers. That Jets team beat a Buffalo Bills last week. That Jets team have a great defense, 70-10 first two games. Nobody's been more impressive the first 2 weeks.
You're right. Nobody's been more impressive in the first 2 weeks, but for the past 5 years, nobody's been more poor in the last 2 weeks than the Cowboys.
We talking about right now. We talking about this year.
Let me interject with this. Let me interject with this fact. Ain't none of us gonna win no NFC championship with just 2 wins.
That's right. That's the point.
Let's let the season play out.
That's the point.
Let the chips fall where they fall.
Point taken. Point taken.
Yeah, but I will say the Dallas Cowboys, they are looking very impressive.
They are
definitely looking impressive. When you look on the defensive side of the ball, very impressive. You look at the San Francisco 49ers, defensive side of the ball, very impressive. As the season unfolds, we haven't seen Dak have to win games with his arm or with his legs yet. Right now, this is a defensively dominating team that's making it easy for the offense, which is not a bad thing for Dak. They're not asking a lot of him right now. If you think about the two, if you think not to compare him to the quarterback that I'm about to mention, but if you think about that 2000 Baltimore Ravens team when they were dominant on defense and they had subpar at the quarterback position with Trent Dilfer, he didn't have to do nothing but manage the game, and they end up winning the championship.
All right, hold on. Go ahead, Clarence. Get that last point in. Hurry up.
Great point, but let's not just besmirch Dak and say subpar. He's not a subpar quarterback, but the formula.
I just said that.
The formula to win just with the Eagles and the 49ers has been with a dominant defense. That's made the game easier for both of their quarterbacks. So if that's what the Cowboys are doing, hey, do the same thing.
Hey, Washington got a top 5 defense too. Washington got a top 5 defense too. That's all I'm saying.
This is what I'm gonna say. Unfortunately, I am rooting for the Commanders. Y'all Commandos, Commodores, whatever y'all name is.
Stop calling them the Commandos.
The Commodores. I'm rooting for the Commodores.
Sam Howell. Okay. Sam Howell.
But hold on now. Let's not mention Sam Howell without mentioning the job that Eric Bieniemy is doing on the offense. Okay, let's not forget that. He's coming there. He got a second year. He got a second-year quarterback in there, and they had a big comeback last week. So I am happy about that.
Who is Sam Howell?
First of all, he's the quarterback out of North Carolina.
Sam Howell is a young baller. We have seen this story before when a quarterback gets drafted late and he turned into a star. We've seen it with Tony Romo.
Hold on. Let me say this. Hold on.
Wilson was in his draft taking number 2. And who would you rather have, Sam Howell or Zach Wilson?
Okay, hold on. Let me say this. Hold on.
My bad, dog.
Hold on. I want to give Fred Smoot his credit, because you did talk about how Sam Howell was probably going to be better than people thought. And right now he is performing. He has gotten better from game 1 to game 2. Now, people were clamoring for the Commanders to get Lamar Jackson. I was one of those. I'm not about to say Sam Howell's better than Lamar Jackson. However, I did notice that Sam Howell held his poise in the joint practice against the Ravens. Okay, and I saw that he was able to take that physicality for that defense, and that poured over into the preseason game after that in the first 2 regular seasons. So he is doing regular season games, rather. So he is doing better than I thought he was going to do off top. Go ahead, Fred.
Better. First of all, since Sam Howell starting for the Commanders, we are undefeated. We beat the Cowboys last year. We won all the preseason games, and we 2-0. We undefeated, baby.
Okay.
I am glad you have something to be boasting and excited and just loud about.
Okay, guys, guess what? We are going to bring in our very special guest who is standing by Mr. Method Man. But before he comes in and we transfer to the crew crib, I do want to play this video from him emceeing the intro to the season opener that didn't necessarily go the way we thought it was going to go against the Bills on 9/11. So hold on, let's play that real quick.
This here is where we write the story. For a city, a land, a nation. Not bound by ancestry or borders, just loyalty to these colors. This team. And this team's been through it, man. Long days, cold nights, hardships and heartbreak. But you know what? We learned from it. We learned that the greatest heights conquered often begin in the greatest depths. And the past need not define what we would will ourselves to become. It was a hard road to get here. Yeah. But you know what? The journey that's easy never matters. Sacrifice is the price for greatness.
Welcome, Method Man to the building. What's going on, Method?
What's up, people? How's everybody doing?
Man, that intro was beautiful. That intro was beautiful. It was beautiful. I like the cinematography. I like the voiceover.
Oh, man. I learned it that day.
Hey, man.
Learned it that day. Dedication to art.
Good job.
That's what's up.
Well, let me make sure I give Method his full and proper introduction. We are talking about a rapper, songwriter, producer, and actor. Obviously, we know him from the Wu-Tang Clan, The Wire, Power, and so much more in between. 2023 Image Award winner as well, crowned Outstanding Supporting Actor in a drama series for his role as criminal defense attorney Davis McLean and Power. Hailing from Hempstead, Long Island, and also longtime Jets fan, it is Method Man in the building.
What's up, Method Man? Hey, Mo, we got a fellow actor in the building. You know what I mean?
Without a doubt. Fellow actor in the building. Got three of us on here.
Fellow actor in the building.
I have so far to go to even get where Morris is. Please.
No, we all fellow actors. See, we fellow actors. Fred just act up. You know,
Don't even start that. Don't even start that. That's why I told you I'm glad they killed you in Boys in the Hood. Yes, I am.
Well, hey, listen, Method, we're going to get right into it. We're going into your Jets. They are 1-1. Now, listen, everybody out there, I met Method on the sidelines. He was getting ready to do his big performance, was very gracious in, meeting me and then offering, to do this show and all this other stuff. And it was very electric in the building, Method, at MetLife. Everybody had the green lights up. Aaron Rodgers, he comes out the tunnel with the American flag. It's 9/11. It's all of that. And then 4 plays later, Method, please tell me what was going through your head the minute he, got sacked there by Leonard Floyd and got injured. And then the next thing you know, it's a torn Achilles.
I'm like, why did he shake Jake Paul's hand?
Oh, no.
I'm joking. I will say it was the equivalent of buying a brand new Bentley and driving off the showroom floor with it and getting into an accident as soon as you drive off the lot.
Oh my God.
It was pretty bad. And when I say it sucked, because I was inside the coaches club actually when the play happened, and I didn't see it happen, but it got very quiet. The whole stadium got quiet, like a moment of silence, waiting for, and that was when he sat down.
Right.
Now
you
we're just
felt
waiting
it
for
happen.
him to get back up, and that didn't happen. So, Zach Wilson came on, and we all rallied behind Zach, but it was really, we know who won that game.
Okay.
We who held it down for the New York Jets.
And who was that?
That was our defense, man.
Okay.
We had Reed stepping up. I mean, the boy had an incredible game. Sauce was there to do his numbers. Quinnen is the heartbeat of that defense right there, man. And I think they all follow his lead. And the harder he plays, the more harder they go.
And Jordan Whitehead had the 3 interceptions. Go ahead, Morris.
Right.
So let me ask you though. So as a long standing Jets fan. What do you think about the decision right now to not go get somebody else and bring them in and stay the course with Zach?
Well, I think what insiders don't know is with Aaron Rodgers going down, now we have 2 OCs, 2 offensive coordinators, if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean that sounds Method. That sounds good. That sounds good. But he's not going to be back in the building anytime soon. I get where you're going with this.
No, he doesn't.
The fact that he can.
Let me give you the insight.
Okay, go ahead, Method. Go ahead.
Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers actually are roommates now. So he's going to give the kid the game as far as the mental part of it. And basically that offense was, built for Aaron Rodgers. Now we have to change the game plan slightly, probably go back to old Jet football, which is run, ground and pound, really beat it into their heads. But we can't sit here and act like we don't have faith in our starting quarterback, because that's just going to be a cluster of just misery right there. At least back the kid.
No.
Let me jump in for 1 second.
Go ahead, Clarence. Go ahead.
Number one, I saw you in Dallas at the 50th anniversary hip hop show with LL in Fort Worth. So it was an awesome show, and it was a great show. Secondly, your Jets came to Dallas last weekend. They did not run the ball.
I mean, you know what happens. You know what, when teams start passing, that's either desperation or you're trailing by a lot. Am I lying here, T.O.?
I gotta side with Clarence on this, because I'm with you when you're right, but in this situation, you guys are trying to rally behind, and you try to feed off that energy from the games you guys won on Monday night. That energy didn't transfer over to the Dallas Cowboys. So with that being said, again, obviously, do they have to change the offense to tailor his strengths and not the strengths of Aaron Rodgers? But again, he's had a whole offseason to understand and be with Aaron Rodgers, to understand the nuances of what it takes to be a quarterback mentally. But you're thinking about some of the mistakes, and I get it. They got behind. He had to throw some passes. He threw some interceptions. But this is, if you look at it from the optics, this is the same old Zach Wilson from last year.
Absolutely.
Does he have a little bit more poise and pocket presence? Yes, but that's not having more pocket presence and poise is not getting you guys W's at this point.
All right, go ahead, Matt.
I think the game plan, I'm sorry not to cut you off, but I think the game plan was, like I said, geared around Aaron Rodgers. He goes down week 2. There's really no time to put together a brand new whatever it is. So let's try the kid out. I don't know why we would do that against Dallas.
That's their job.
Let's throw the kid in there and let Micah Parsons try his best to get him. And they got his ass. But my friend, I'm sorry.
One other.
Hold on. We will not talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is y'all have a number 2 pick in the draft over there that nobody believes in. How is that possible that y'all had to take 10 steps back with a number 2 pick in there? That's like dating a dime piece with a dead tooth in her mouth. Come on.
Okay, I like that. I love that right there. Okay, I love that right there. But teams make mistakes all of the time.
Very true. Very true.
It becomes a point of working with what you have to try and make the best of a season in the meantime, while you gauge what you have to do in order to move forward, man. And people are banking on Aaron Rodgers to come back next year. New York wants it now.
Oh yeah.
Now that's
what we're not talking about.
Huh?
One thing we're not talking about in the Cowboys game is they ran the ball down and throws to that defense. They moved the ball on that defense. That defense gave up some stuff too.
He's talking about the Cowboys.
Gets tired if they're constantly on the field. If and I'm not taking anything away from the Cowboys defense. You guys are brilliant. I mean, that team is brilliant in so many different ways, from offense to defense. But when your offense is coming out there and they're getting 4 series and your defense is playing their heart out, and I'm not taking anything away from our offense. Okay? Let's not make the mistake of doing that. But if you're doing 4 and outs, your defense is on the turf a lot.
Well, can I just say this really quickly? The time of possession difference between the Cowboys and the Jets. The Cowboys had it for 42 minutes. The Jets had it for 17 minutes. And to go back to the rushing point, the Jets only rushed it 16 times, and the Cowboys rushed it 44 times. So there was that discrepancy because we know that your running back method was, illuminating the fact that's this being Breece Hall that he only had 4 carries in the game, and he got mad after that. And then Sauce was a little, what's the word, Clarence? Perturbed. Perturbed. There. Thank you for helping me out there. He was perturbed that the Cowboys fans were,
every player on that team that bust their rumps to be there, not only to show up on game time, but to show up during the game, should be angry.
And
angry.
I didn't play the game, but I want to say this: just like the Cowboys defense got the Jets off the field, that great Jets defense, they could have got the Cowboys off the field too.
They could have got scored on a whole hell of a lot. How many times was the Cowboys in the red zone?
I know they forced them to kick field goals, but they did have long drives too. They could have got the Cowboys off the field. They played a role in them being tired.
But what more could you ask your defense to do? I mean, I know the red zone is very tough to score. Yep. All right. I know how hard that is, especially with 4 downs and it's first and goal. But the grind is not letting people freaking score.
Yeah.
This ain't live TV, Matthew. You can curse. It's fine. Go ahead, Morris. I know you wanted to
score, man.
Listen. I have to say, much respect, Matthew. You've been a Jets fan for a long time. And now I see you supporting this team with all you got, knowing that you're in the East. You're gonna have to deal with the Dolphins who put points on the board like it ain't nothing. You're gonna have to deal with that Belichick defense. You're gonna deal with the Buffalo Bills. Y'all gonna have to pass the ball, bro. Ain't no running and playing defense in today's NFL. You're gonna have to pass, and Zach Wilson ain't the dude to do it.
I'm sorry, but someone did mention Trent Dilfer earlier and managing a football game. Thank you.
Yeah, they did. But your defense ain't the Ravens defense.
Okay, answer the question for me then.
Your defense ain't the Ravens defense.
But I gotta give it to you,
Let's say if the Jets do go with a 1-year option to cover Aaron Rodgers, who do you guys think would even
Jameis Winston?
An ideal pick.
Jameis Winston. Go with Jameis Winston. He would be
He's the interception machine, man.
Okay, not anymore.
Wait a minute, interception machine. What do you think Zach is?
Okay, hold on. Let me set the table. Hold on, let me set the table for this because Method, right now, obviously your team is 1-1. You're getting ready to go up to a Patriots team that you always have difficulty beating, and they're coming into this game 0-2. So this is how I feel like this is pretty much it right now in terms of for Zach. He has to turn it around in terms of having a better game than he did in Dallas, because not necessarily for me, but I feel like the Jets fans and the media are going to clamor that much higher if they lose against the 0-2 Patriots. So I'm going to ask you, if that happens, 1, are you still riding with Zach Wilson? Or 2, do they need to trade for a quarterback like a Jameis Winston or a Gardner Minshew? Or do they need to look to free agency and get someone like a Nick Foles, Chase Daniel, RG3, Fitzpatrick, Colin Kaepernick?
There is a lot of variables there. You didn't mention Matty Ice, by the way. I like Matt Ryan.
Okay, Matt Ryan. Go ahead.
There's a lot of variables.
Carson Wentz.
And I will let the experienced guys that, have actually played the game and know the system, they can answer that better than me. But from a Jet fan standpoint, I just want to see us at least 3 games above 500. I believe that's absolutely possible. But like you said, the Dolphins are going to be a problem. The Patriots, not so much, because you got to put up points.
Matthew, you dodging the question. If they lose this game, do you need to switch quarterbacks?
I would say yes, but as far as the team goes, at the end of the day, it's up to Saleh and those guys.
Okay, so Fred, you were making a case for Jameis Winston. Go ahead.
I'm baffled.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead, T.O.
I'm baffled at them not making a move to at least bring somebody on the roster are working some guys out. As everyone has mentioned, there's a lot of kind of capable guys, notable guys that are out there on the free agent market that could do more than what Zach Wilson is doing. And I say that because they offer experience. And that's what Zach Wilson lacks at this point in time. You can have all the optimism you want in the world for, like I said, whether you're a Jet fan or not, or you're on the outside looking in. I don't hate Zach Wilson. I'm rooting for him, but it's nothing from what I've seen that is giving me the confidence that he's going to make it happen. After this weekend, they're going to be tied with the New England Patriots. They're going to be 1-2. Both of them will be 1-2. But when you think about the possible options out there in free agency, again, that I don't know why they wouldn't give a guy like, or even though he's in the booth, RG3, Cam Newton, Matty Ice, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But again, that's a real good option because he can manage the game. He doesn't have to do anything spectacular. All he got to do is get the ball to his receivers and let them go. But again, you guys are not going to win any game without no rushing game. That's not going to happen.
You're absolutely right.
Hey, Fred,
I don't have to defend our quarterback, man. We all know that as far as the game goes, he gets I have heart palpitations when he runs out of the pocket, okay? Because it's almost as if it's scripted that he's going to do something that's going to hurt the team. But in the spirit of being a Jet fan, of course I'm going to say I support Zach Wilson.
No, for
Do
sure.
I think he's the best man for the job? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But he's our quarterback now.
I got a question for you.
Wait, Clarence, before you ask the question, I want to hear what Fred had to say about Jameis. Go ahead about Jameis. Go ahead.
You know what? I can't believe y'all fellas. Like, can we all agree one thing? If I had to ask y'all independently, who's the best backup quarterback in football? Wouldn't everybody say Jameis Winston? And the two things I need from a quarterback that I'm gonna put in that situation, I need them to have starting time. Jameis got that, and I need them to have to be in somebody's camp, to be in shape, to be ready to play some football when I put you in the middle of New York and put all that pressure on you. How could Jameis not be the best person for the job?
No argument here. No argument here. But what are the Jets going to have to give up to get him?
Nothing. A whole shoe, a Jordan. What?
Probably They're gonna have to give up a player. The draft. They're gonna have to give up something. They're gonna have to give up a player.
They got to give up something because they're the ones that's desperate.
Right.
Honestly,
exactly.
They're the ones that need.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Morris.
No. I was just gonna say honestly, I was actually surprised. Listen, he's not the answer, but Mike White played better than Zach Wilson last year. I don't know why y'all let him go.
The experiment already over with. The experiment don't work.
Okay, well, we had to acquire some pieces, and I think Mike was one of the pieces that had to be moved in order for us to acquire
Rodgers.
Newer pieces.
Let me ask you.
The elephant in the room is basically our offensive line, and I don't want to be hard on the guys because what happened to Aaron, I don't think that was an offensive lineman's mistake or whatever the hell it was.
I agree.
But in all, that has always been a question mark as far as the Jets go. Now, my question is, could Zach manage the game better with a little bit more time? I don't think so. Can he, if they just let him cut loose like they do with something like maybe what's this guy? Oh, I'm sorry, like a Jalen Hurts, something like that, because the kid got hard. He's going to take a couple of hits. Would that work? No, it's not. So the best thing that we can do for ourselves is try and finish out this season strong. Hopefully we get a strong Aaron Rodgers next year.
Well, Aaron is actually trying to come back before the end of the season because now I'm not saying he is, but he's talking about he got this speed bridge and all this other.
That's typical Aaron. Stop with that BS. Ain't nobody all the way to the playoffs.
More for morale.
That's typical.
He might go to that darkness retreat. He go to that darkness retreat. Come out of there, man.
Okay, how many people in there hate the Jets? What's going on here?
No, we don't hate the Jets. We don't hate the Jets.
No.
Go ahead,
NFC in here.
Time out. We don't hate the Jets, but I'm not cutting for Mr. Anti-Vax, number one. Secondly, I just want to get your history method on your Jets fandom because how did you become a Jets fan? I mean, you guys haven't won anything since Joe Namath. You had the butt fumble. I mean, just talk about your history of the Jets. How you become a Jets fan?
It has been.
That's a long time.
I'm a Hempstead, Long Island kid. The Jets used to practice at Hofstra University. That was our team, the Jets and the Mets. Long Island teams right there. So I kind of adopted them as a team. And then the Richard Todd era is when I really became a fan.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Todd era made you a fan?
Huh?
The Richard Todd era?
Because we saw so much grit and heart. Bro, if it wasn't for AJ Dewey, we probably would have went a little bit further. And that's just me being an optimistic Jet fan. You can laugh all y'all want. Whatever. Testaverde was also good for it. I mean, Pennington. We had so many chances, but it's just, I don't know if we're cursed or not, but the Jets have always been synonymous with just
without due respect.
I don't even know none of these guys.
Without due respect, Method Man, those guys will be called Jags, just a guy. They not real quarterbacks.
I like that.
They just Jags. They just guys.
I like that. I like that.
They sound like guys that stock the shelf, like Sam Howell, Richard Todd. Hey man, who are these guys?
I'm out of your mouth right now. Because Sam Howell, I'm telling you right now, they went in the same draft with Matt Wilson. Meth Man would love to have Sam Howell right now.
So Fred Smoot, you saying that Sam Howell is playing better than Method's Zach Wilson right now?
Yes, Sam Howell.
Hell yeah, I'll say that.
Yes, he's playing better. He undefeated.
Okay, well, this is. Go ahead, man.
Shit, Jalen Milroe.
Well, hold on. Wait, Matt, let Matt ask that question again. Go ahead, Matt.
Okay.
My question is, first is, who is Sam Howell? Second, how many games has he played for Washington that he can be considered better?
All right, here you go. Sam Howell is our worst nightmare. Number one, he's our worst nightmare. Number two, Sam Howell has beat the Cowboys with Michael Parsons. He did that last year in the last game. He undefeated in the preseason and 2 games undefeated now. Sam Howell won more games than Zach Wilson.
And he's a Tar Heel. I put that in there.
Hey, the only player that's playing that Zach Wilson playing better than is Trey Lance, who went number 3 in the draft.
Hey, come on, man. Y'all don't even believe in Dak Prescott over there right now. So stop all that hate, Clarence.
Trey Lance is a disappointment.
I love it. I'll take it. I will take all that Jet stuff. I will take all of it for my team. Man.
Hey,
but Dak Prescott ain't nothing in the playoff. If he even makes it to the playoffs.
Hey, let me tell y'all this. I'm an Alabama fan, and we have quarterback problems too. But Jalen Milroe is playing better than goddamn Zach Wilson.
Hey, I do want to say this. Let me say this because I know we're all joking and stuff like this, but people are going to listen to this. I do want to. Zach Wilson does have improved footwork, pocket awareness, and all these other things. You do see the impact of Aaron Rodgers being around him, boxing and things like. So we do see improvement. However, I would say this,
but that's not winning ball games. I get all of that. You're supposed to improve.
I know.
Going from one season to another.
You don't get crap. You don't get credit for stuff you're supposed to do. But we just acknowledging it. However, let me just make this point. I just want to say, going back to Thursday Night Football last year when he lost against the Jags in front of everybody, looked like a deer caught in headlights. Obviously, he didn't look, any good. He did look a little better in the first half. However, coming in relief when all the adrenaline is pumping, for Aaron Rodgers and winning that game, I was in the locker room and there's all this euphoria. Yeah, that's great. But it's the same thing I said on Twitter. I need to see him do it from beginning to end and multiple wins and not just do it when the expectation is lower. This is how I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles got confused with Carson Wentz because he would play hero ball, do well. Then when the expectations was square on his shoulders, then it was, he would digress. He would downshift. He would be on the opposite side, the flank side of the field and throwing it across his body. And then that's when the pressure was on Zach Wilson in the second half. Then he's throwing these 3 interceptions or 2 or whatever it was, 2 and 1 or whatever. So that's what we need to see. And he has to grow up in his next game.
Can we revisit that Monday night game? That wasn't about Zach Wilson. That was about Josh Allen trying to throw 14-point touchdown. But if Josh Allen don't have 4 turnovers and have 3 awful interceptions, there's no way the Jets win that game. And as you talk about Dak Prescott, because everybody likes to talk about Dak Prescott, and let's have this conversation because people want to talk about Dak Prescott's turnover. But Josh Allen's had more turnovers than Dak Prescott the last 3 years. He's been a turnover machine, and he showed that in game 1.
has the most.
Stop it.
Hey,
Stop
Josh
it, Clarence.
Allen.
Just let him know
Josh
the Jets
Allen.
got Josh Allen's number. The Jets
Hey,
have
Josh
his number.
Allen
He's
has
on
the
lock
most.
anytime he
Josh
plays
Allen has the most turnovers since 2018.
And nobody
that's
talks
eight-
about that.
That's eight. He has 84 turnovers, leading the National Football League since he entered into the league.
Yes, and everybody wants to talk about Dak's turnovers. My just point is the difference between the two games is you can say what you want about Dak. He didn't turn the ball over. The quarterback didn't turn the ball over.
Well,
That's
some
gonna
would
be the
say,
difference.
Clarence, that the Jets forced him into those turnovers.
No,
Jordan
no,
Whitehead
no.
did get 3
That's not true.
interceptions and jumped
Those
into
were
the passing lane.
No,
That's what happened.
That's not true.
Thank you.
They did not force him in those turnovers. He made bad
Alternative
plays.
facts.
Okay.
He
Hey,
made bad
Hold on,
plays.
hold on.
Josh may be number one,
No,
but
sir.
Dak is number 2 in the interception and turnovers.
Am I-
He
am
may
I-
not be
No,
number
no,
one,
no,
but
no,
they
no,
1
no,
and
no,
2.
no. No,
Am I the
historically,
only
Dak is
person
not
that can
that.
admit when they're wrong about something or when their team is basically not producing the way they should?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Clarence make excuses.
I'm not
Clarence
Okay.
make excuses. Clarence, you sitting here telling me, oh, he just making bad decisions. That's what making bad decisions is. That's what
Right.
throwing interceptions is. Right?
Exactly.
Listen, I talked to other
No,
quarterbacks.
let me
I talked
talk.
to quarterbacks.
We let you talk,
No,
Clarence.
let me
Okay,
finish.
hold on.
We let you talk.
Let Fred get in there. Go ahead,
No,
Fred.
no, Clarence. Listen, I can't see you with your kids, and I come with my kids, and I see you in the mall, and your kid got a booger in the nose, and you gonna tell me my kid got one too, so it don't matter. Both of us good parents. At the end of the day, you know damn well y'all don't believe in Dak right now. He a Mississippi State Bulldog, where I went from. But y'all don't believe in Dak right now. If we were in a playoff game against any team right now, and y'all had to win the game offensively, one drive to take it home right now, do you, Clarence Hill, do you believe in Dak Prescott?
I believe in Dak Prescott. The Cowboys believe in Dak Prescott. That's a silly question. I mean, what are you talking about? They don't believe in Dak Prescott. Where you
Anyway, okay.
You sound like Dan Orlovsky and all these people making up narratives.
Let's
That's
let
not
the
true.
Eagles fan get in there.
You're
Morris,
making
let's
Listen.
let the Eagles fan. Go ahead, Morris.
Listen. This is what fun. Listen, like I said, I give Meth a lot of credit for hanging with his Jets, and he's just saying, hey, this is what it is. He's not making excuses. Clarence, you're making excuses for the Cowboys. You're making excuses for Dak Prescott. You're saying that he threw the interceptions, that the Jets, that the Bills quarterback threw the ball to you. They still got to catch the ball. I saw a brother last night put his hands on the interception in the end zone. He just dropped it. They still got to make the plays. The Jets got good defense.
Yep.
Dak Prescott has been struggling with turnovers. Clarence, just call it like it is.
He struggled at turnovers last year. Look at his whole career.
Okay.
He's not a
Look at one more thing.
No.
If you look at the last 2 to 3 years,
he's
the
been a
first
turnover
2 games
machine.
that the Cowboys have played throughout Dak Prescott looked like a superstar. It's later on in the year where he starts turning the rock over, Clarence.
Thank
So
you.
you can know that.
Now, in my Jets defense, if he has 3 bad games in a row, do you go get Jameis Winston?
Yeah, you do.
No,
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Okay,
No.
but hold on,
That
Method.
answers
Let me just catch Method up to what I've been saying on the show. Not only do they get Jameis Winston, prior to the season starting, I said that the Jets should have added him to the roster. Right now, I believe that he's with the Saints on a 1-year deal that's $4 million max. So they're probably paying about $2 million base or whatever it is. That's nothing. He should have been there earlier. He should have been there now so he can acclimate to the offense. And I felt like they should shift at the time Zach Wilson from QB2 behind Aaron to QB3, bring up Jameis so he'd be there for the acclimation. So now you're not having this pressure or what have you. That said, they didn't do it. I still feel like they should bring in a Jameis at minimum, Gardner Minshew in now instead of waiting. But the problem is what they're doing is very concerned about the chemistry. They're concerned about the mentality of the kid and all that other stuff, and you got to protect that. But there's only so many games in a 17 regular season. You're wasting time. So if you don't get it done this weekend, I think you got to make a decision. Go ahead.
Listen, one more thing.
Do we have any other topics? We're going to talk about
Yes,
this dude.
yes, no.
We done talked about this.
I want to say
Method
this.
is in a parking lot, so we were going to get his
Well,
Jets out.
let me just say one more thing.
Good.
Let me just say one. Clarence, you got something? Let me say one more thing.
Before you say this, I want to say this.
Go ahead.
Method, Josina, the second biggest Jets fan on this call.
Oh, stop it.
She's been hyping up the Jets all off season. Okay,
I'm very objective.
Honestly,
I'm calling it like it is. Whatever. Go ahead,
As you were
Morris.
saying, Morris.
My last thing for the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do. When I think about it, I do agree with Meth. I think they're going to have to ride this year out. And the only reason why I say that, there's a lot of quarterbacks coming up in this draft. You know, you're going to try to bring somebody in to patchwork it, and they're not going to be the long-term answer. We're not even sure how much Aaron Rodgers is going to recover to be the long-term answer. And if Zach Wilson is the long-term answer, let's find out right now. And if he's not, we'll get back in that draft next year. They got about 5-6 first-round quarterbacks, and we're going to see what we're going to do. I think that's the best course of action for the Jets.
You need to write that down. Send that to the Jets. Send that right to the Jets staff. They need to hear
I'm just not even sure the hack is the hack for the quarterback to develop a quarterback either.
It's over for the Jets, man. Everybody knew at the moment Aaron Rodgers hit the turf. When Aaron Rodgers hit the turf, I seen the whole side of New York just die. The lights went out and blinked off and everything. And the hopes were gone. It's over.
Okay, well, really quickly, you know, Method is in the middle of a parking lot, and so, you know, I do want to be cognizant of that. Method, first of all, a couple things before you go. I do see you on Instagram all the time working out. Morris tries to get his hoop dreams on, you know, at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Freaking fantastic.
Yeah, he thinks he can play basketball. So go ahead and tell me what your little workout routine is, or any tips you got for Morris and especially Clarence with the jump pack over there. Okay, go ahead.
You need to give he needs to give you some tips too.
You stay great, brother. I don't know what Miss Josina is talking about right now.
Appreciate you, bro.
T.O., I'm going to pattern myself after you when I need those cuts and all that.
He got an 18-pack. T.O. got the 18-pack happening. He got the 18-pack.
I don't know how I feel about you yet.
Hey, I love your music. I love your show, though.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
What'd you say?
Fred? Fred.
Yes.
You a hater.
Okay, hey, listen,
everybody, man. Like I said, I'm gonna ride out with these Jets. I'm gonna ride out with my Jets. And
very commendable.
They actually invited me to come train with them.
Oh wow!
So that should be interesting. Maybe I'll give you a
train with them to do what? To be quarterback? To train with them to do what? To do what? To play quarterback? To train with them to do what, Method?
I'm gonna work out.
Oh, you gonna work out
in the gym with them? They want to see what my routine is. I'm not giving away any tricks. You got to show up.
Okay. Well, listen, before you depart,
while you working out, tell them that there's some quarterbacks that's out there in the market that can really help you guys out.
Okay. Anyways, Method, before you go real quick, just tell us what your latest project, what you're working on, and go from there real quick.
I'm on tour right now with Wu-Tang. You know, with the writer's strike going on and the actor's strike going on, it's cool that I have something else to fall back on. Salute to the writers and salute to the actors. We're in solidarity with you guys, man, until you get your money right. You heard?
Okay. All right, man. Well, do me a favor real quick. Look into the camera. Hey, Fred, we ain't trying to hear you with them talking about what you talking about. Cream, everything. Let him do his camera. Okay. So, Method, look into the camera real quick. Say your name, and you are watching the crew.
Hey, yo, this is Method Man right here, a.k.a. Grand High Exalted Mystic Ruler of the planet Earth and the whole universe. And you're watching the crew.
That's right. One take only. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Hey, Morris, I want to do one of the movies with you, bro.
Hey, good. Let's do it.
Yeah, me too, bro.
We praying for y'all in Washington, baby. We praying for y'all baby.
Bye. Anyways, we know Morris got a check off right here too. Listen, we appreciate you jumping in, Morris. Before you go, because we were talking about your Eagles real quick. I know they are 2-0, but the one thing I did want to mention real quick about your Eagles as we add this part to the first part of the show is that Jalen Hurts has not thrown yet for over 200 yards passing, and I think he did an interview with Donovan McNabb, or Donovan McNabb said he spoke to him or what have you, and Jalen was intimating that he's probably around 65 or 70% with that shoulder. So I'm curious, are you concerned about Jalen Hurts moving forward and feeling like if he's in his full groove or not yet?
I didn't know that until just before the show that his shoulder hasn't completely healed. I would think that it would. I'm curious to see what T.O. and Fred have to say. I would think it's a concern. He had the whole off season to recuperate, and it's still only 60 to 70%, I would be concerned about that.
Right, I would echo those same sentiments. If it's 60 to 70% at this juncture, with all the time that has elapsed with OTAs in the off season, then maybe he probably should have had surgery on that shoulder. I mean, I can only imagine, how bad it was if it's only 60 to 70% at this juncture, especially this early in the season. Was there something that happened in preseason that we don't know about? But again, at the end of the day, I don't really think it's that big of a concern. And I guess too, for me, you got to consider the source. I don't know why somebody would even bring this up at this point in time, talking about the shoulder of the quarterback, regardless of whether he's throwing for 100, 200, 300. The only stat that should matter is that they're 2-0. I mean, for the throws that I've seen him throw and make, I don't see any lingering effects of anything, dealing with a shoulder problem.
Hey, let's be honest here. Y'all can see here and look left and look to the right and look over this if you want to. At the end of the day, it's different between being hurt and being injured. And if you telling me this guy is 60%, you are injured and you are gutting through it. All right, and if you are gutting through it at the beginning of the year, T.O., as the year go on, our body continues to break down and we have to continue to build it back up. But if you having to start to build your body back up in week one and you a quarterback, meaning you got to make 100 throws a day at practice, and then you got to practice to be in tune and be with the offense. And now you telling me right now, that's like you silly telling me here now that he's one hit away from being injured.
Yeah, absolutely. And just this style of play, I think about, he's a running quarterback as well. He gets out of the pocket and he's not shy to take on any hits. So you got to think about like you said, Fred, you got to think about the wear and tear of the season, especially this early on in the season, if it's going to be a lingering issue.
And this is certainly something that bears watching. They play that rugby football anyway, but we're going to talk about that. One thing I want to ask T.O. and Morris about is that A.J. Brown is upset. And is there, he's not getting the ball. He was mad on the sideline last week. Can you just talk about that? And there was talk. I know the media was trying to create a battle between Devontae and A.J. Brown, who's number one in training camp, and then he's upset during the season, during games, about not getting balls. That's something. That's a problem. That's a potential concern.
Well, I think that's competitive. I think that's competitiveness. I think as a receiver, speaking, I've been on that side of it. You want to be able to contribute. You obviously, like I said, you work so hard in the offseason. There's so much build and so much hype. Again, they lost in the Super Bowl last year. He's probably trying to get back into that rhythm, get back in that groove of where they left off. So again, it's going to be a little frustration. And again, at the end of the day, we don't know exactly what was being said, but again, they're close. They're very close. Those two. Like I said, that's friendly fire, that's banter that's going to go back and forth. Whether, like I said, it's all competitiveness. The media on the outside looking in. Again, you already talked about it. They already tried to throw something in there to throw some confusion there about who's WR1. What difference does it make? Because any different play. Wherever you are on the field, in the progression, you can be the number one receiver, you can be the number two receiver or number three receiver. So it really doesn't matter. Both of them possess WR1 qualities and at that position, so it really doesn't matter.
Okay, Morris, your opinion. Go ahead.
My opinion. So here's where I feel about that. It's to play that game at that level, and I've never been to that level, not even close. I know Fred and T.O. have. But you have to have something that the quite average man doesn't have. So not only do you have to have this ability, but you're also young and you out there on the field of battle. We've seen people like Chubb last night get hurt. So there's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of heart in what's going on out there in that football field. So I can't really criticize a young man, brothers in his 20s, for being out there on the football field. All these pundits, they get on ESPN and all these different shows, 40 and 50 years old, after we've had time to not play for a long time and reflect back on our youth and say what we could have, would have, should have done. But when we're 20 years old and there's a lot at stake on national TV, I can't fault the brother for responding like that.
You know what, Morris? I got to say this. That was the most thought-provoking thing I've ever heard you say, brother. Congratulations and kudos. Morris, that was great. But you know what I'm really sitting back enjoying over here? You watching the evil empire of Philadelphia just cracking under the pressure right now. You know what? We don't do that in Washington. Terry McLaurin don't do all that bickering. We don't do none of that. We're a winning culture over here. So at the end of the day, we got new magic over here. We got new homes. It feels different over here.
That's a lie. I saw your defensive lineman. Fighting at Texas at AT&T Stadium in the middle of the game. In the middle of the game.
Our defensive line ain't beat up nobody but Russell Wilson. They beat him up Sunday, and they gonna beat up Josh Allen this week.
Listen, Fred, you talking about y'all got a winning culture. What era was that? The damn sure wasn't the last 10, 15 years. We have a winning culture. What do you follow for a winning culture?
Hey, since Sam Howell has been quarterback for us, we are 5-0. That's all I'm saying. Plus, we got to do everything. We don't look at it.
You have a winning moment. You don't have no winning culture. You got a winning moment.
Hold on. Okay, because I'm trying to be mindful of Morris's time. And then the other thing is because since all of y'all came, except Fred didn't get the memo. But since all of y'all came in here with the sunglasses, I have to get Morris's take on this before he goes. So hold on. All right, we on here with our sunglasses. Morris, what did you miss the cue? Put your sunglasses on. Hello, duh. I know.
So what happened? Y'all didn't tell me.
They didn't tell me either. Just because I live here, I was able to grab mine real quick. Hey, listen.
Well, some things are just. I can run downstairs, but I ain't gonna do it.
I mean, hey, listen. You can run with one of us talking.
Hey, you might pull a hamstring too.
Yeah, we don't want you to pull no hamstring, no Achilles, no Achilles.
Exactly.
Hey, Clarence, I know you ain't over there laughing on that all gluten diet you on over there.
Hey, what is understood don't have to be explained. Y'all should know this.
Okay. Okay, so obviously this portion really quickly. We know that Colorado was able to beat CSU. They are now 3-0. That's right. Okay.
Yep. 3-0.
They're entering back 12 play, getting ready to play Oregon. But we also know that there was some controversy during the game because it wasn't as easy as people thought. You know, everything was personal before the game based off things that Deion Sanders felt. Jay Norville said, who is the head coach of CSU, as far as how he was raised in terms of taking off your hoodie and your sunglasses and all that. He later went on to say he was really talking to his kids, not necessarily talking to Colorado. Nonetheless, Deion Sanders, they took it personal. They got the hoodies, they got the sunglasses, gave it to everybody. But in the midst of the game, we all saw it. What's his name? Henry Blackburn, number 11, basically hit him late. It resulted in a lacerated liver. Travis Hunter, that is the person on the other end of that hit, is now going to be out at least 3 weeks. And also, Shedeur Sanders was driven into the ground by number 8 as well. He ended up being ejected during the game. Multiple penalties on CSU side. So Deion right now is saying that we need to forgive Henry Blackburn because CSU's athletic directors come out and said he's getting death threats and all these other things. And so Morris, quickly, I am going to go to you as far as what you feel like about the whole situation, whether you thought it was tolerable or not, we should forgive or not, and all this other stuff.
I heard Deion's explanation. I got to ride with him. He's the coach on the other team. I mean, it's very unfortunate that he took a cheap shot, took Hunter out the game, out the next few weeks. But I got to ride with what Deion said. It is a game, and I don't think it should go to him getting death threats and his mother getting death threats as a result of it.
Okay, go ahead, Fred.
Man, first of all, it's football. We all been there. And if all the spotlight on the other team, we know it's our time to shine on the other side to make a name for yourself. This guy's 19, 20, 21 years old. You got to understand, you just can't hold that against him at the end of the day. I understand what's going on. I know other people feel how they feel, but come on, man, this is a young kid.
Okay, go ahead, Clarence.
Well, two things. First of all, it's about the coach. And the coach really fanned the flames of that, the dirty play this whole team had the whole game. And yes, he's a kid, and Deion can be magnanimous, and Travis Hunter can be magnanimous as they should, and they want to move on. He should not get death threats. But it was a dirty play. It was a malicious play, and it was fanned by the coach and his attitude going into that game. The whole team was out there playing dirty the whole game. We can't forget that.
Playing dirty is part of the game. If you ain't playing dirty, you ain't trying to win. It's always a little dirty.
You should not try to injure somebody. You should protect your brothers. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
And organ damage is not. We don't go into the game trying to inflict organ damage. However, I do want to get Travis Hunter's perspective on this really quickly, because this is what he said while he was wearing, I think, a giraffe onesie.
It's football. At the end of the day, stuff like that's gonna happen. So I just stay humble and do what he was supposed to do. It's football. Something bad's gonna happen on the field sooner or later. We just gotta get up and fight again. That's what I try to do. Get up and fight. Good thing the doctors stopped me, because if there was no doctors there, I would have still been out there playing. So I'm thankful for everybody that helped me that day. Yeah, well, it's gonna be a speedy recovery.
He should be that way. He's a warrior. He understands that. He can be magnanimous. It was still dirty and malicious.
Right. Go ahead, Tio. Hold on. Let Tio go. Go ahead.
No. I think, everybody kind of touched on it with their own point of view. But again, I think that the players took on the mentality of the coach going into this game. They knew it was a big game. It's a rivalry game. They were obviously looking to knock, Colorado off this winning streak. Again, the player, Henry Blackburn, he knew exactly what he was doing. There was an intent. Everybody was talking about the targeting. I wouldn't say it was targeting, but it was targeting with intent to hurt, to inflict pain. Obviously, Travis is one of their most dynamic players on their offense and the defensive side of the ball. So if you can eliminate one of those players, get them off the field, that increases your chance of your team's win to win, then that's what players are going to do. They're not going to come out and say, oh, yeah, we were trying to hurt somebody. But again, we saw that was definitely Travis was defenseless. He went with intent to hurt Travis, and he accomplished that.
And if you look at the play, the ball was on the ground in front of him.
As I said,
before he hit him, he had plenty of time to stop.
To hold up, yeah.
He had plenty of time to hold up. That was not a normal football play, which the coach tried to say. That's not a normal football play.
No. I applaud, obviously Travis, for obviously, like I said, that just tells you the mentality of who he is as a player. I've been there. I've been in Colorado. I've worked with those guys. I've talked to Deion, and Deion's like, yo, Travis is a dog. He never wants to come off the field. But that's the type of risk and reward when you have somebody, such a dynamic player like a Travis, that obviously he's playing both sides of the ball. Those things are going to probably either come up, whether he either gets hurt or he's going to be exhausted from playing both sides of the ball. But that just shows you, like I said, the mentality of number one, Travis. And then, like I said, we all know who Deion is. He's going to be a forgiving type of person. That's just who he is. But I think it would be different. What if that had been Shador? I don't know if he would be as forgiving, because everything rides on that offense. And Shador, like I said, when Shador goes, that offense and that team goes. So I don't know if he still would have the same sentiment had it been Shador.
But Morris, so let me ask you. So if you're Jay Norville, you're the head coach of CSU, what are you doing with Henry Blackburn as far as is this game? Knowing that Travis, hold on. Knowing that Travis Hunter has to miss 3 games and has a lacerated liver, what are you doing? I'm just asking, if you were head coach of CSU, what would you do? I'm just asking.
Last time I checked, they haven't won a game this year, and they didn't have a great season last year. I think he has more things on his mind than what happened in the game against Colorado. That game hurt. They were in that game. They actually, you had somebody on the 2-yard line with 2 minutes to go. You thinking with up by 8, you think you're gonna win that game. I think he has more things on his mind than that play. I think he's probably moved on.
Well, Josina, I will tell you this: that when Deion was at Jackson State, he had a player who made a dirty hit. He took that player out the game and sent him to the locker room in the middle of the game. That's what Deion did to his own player for a dirty play in a game when he was at Jackson State. So to me, that's a prime example of what you can do as a coach.
You know what, Clarence, need to chill, heal. Here go the thing about it. We as defensive-minded players, yes, it goes over the top. It's always a battle out there. And yes, we trying to protect our brother while inflicting pain on our brother. It's called organized chaos. It happens. There's no one time have I ever tried to hit a guy and say, I want to break this dude's liver. Like At the end of the day, I understand when it comes to competition. I understand competition get heated. I understand we see guys take cheap shots all the time, offensively, defensively. It happens.
But not all cheap shots send players to the hospital. Okay, go ahead.
But we never know which play is going to be that does that.
Okay. Not the ones that so far after the ball hit the ground. But go ahead.
No, Fred, the issue is not hard hits.
No, what y'all want?
No, let Clarence make this point. Go ahead, Clarence.
The issue is not hard hits. Yes, that's part of the game. You want to inflict pain and you want to do all this stuff. But when you do it after the whistle, when the ball's on the ground, that is a whole different animal. And again, the point I was trying to make was Josina asked what the coach can do. I showed you, I made an example of what a coach has done, what Dion has done to his own player, his own defensive player.
Yeah,
exactly. There's intent. There's the intent. I understand where you're coming from, Smoot, because like I said, I know the defensive mindset of defensive players. I have that as an offensive player. But again, when there's intent, you want to decleat a guy, you want to inflict pain. But when there is intent to go beyond what they're asking you to do, that's a problem. That's a problem.
You're right, T.O., but you, out of everybody, T.O., no, you talked and that put just a beam on you, and everybody, you know them dudes were trying to hurt you sometimes, and you knew they were out there taking it personally, and you knew it. Like, you knew this every time you lined up on that field that somebody had a dot on that Pinkston, not him over here. No, it was on Terrell Owens, and you know that, and you know that comes with being a star, especially on offense.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I did that one time. I let my guard down, thinking that I was, they were just going to take it easy on me. And I played. It was my last year in San Francisco. We played in Philadelphia. I caught a pass. I was going out of bounds. I'm like, oh, he's not going to hit me. B-Dog hit me. I went to the ground and I broke my collarbone because I let my guard down. But like I said, that's just part of the – it's part of the game. But that's the thing is, it's one thing, like I said, to have intent to tackle with aggression. But when it goes beyond that, with the intent to actually hurt somebody, that's where the problem lies. He did that. Yeah, he may have gone with intent, obviously, to be aggressive. But again, he was defenseless. The ball was nowhere in sight, bro.
I don't agree with it. Don't get it twisted. I don't want to agree with it. But all I'm saying is, it's such a thin line when it comes to these things that, I don't want to just zero this.
No. There can be a thin line, but in the instance with Henry Blackburn, there was no thin line. To me, it felt. Let me even check my word. It felt like he went in there already with that on his mind. That's what it felt like. I don't know that for sure.
Josina, those players got a license to do what they did from the head coach. Exactly. I guarantee you.
Exactly.
And listen, and I agree. And I gotta go. I agree. It's not right. It's not right. There's no way he should have taken a cheap shot. It just so happened. But how many cheap shots are taken throughout the course of a game? It just so happened he got hurt. It was wrong that he did that. He shouldn't have done that. I thought it was cheap when Deshaun Watson last night, he swung old boy by his face mask once they were out of bounds. If he got hurt doing that, that was a cheap shot. So listen,
I just think it's a little bit of a euphemism to call what Henry Blackburn did a cheap shot. I feel like it's even more than that. That's just my opinion. Huh?
But for me,
that's dirtier than Blackburn. I can't sit here and say that's the most malicious defensive play I've ever seen in my life because I would be lying.
No. And I don't want to make it seem like he's the only one that's done this before because he hasn't.
Absolutely not.
And he's a young man and he can grow and learn from this. And by no means should he be getting any death threats or anything like that. It's completely inappropriate and egregious and all that other things. But we are intellectually smart enough to talk about two different things at one time. And in this box, when we're talking about this hit and going in there and appearing or feeling or whatever it was, looking like that's what you were trying to do. Because remember, after the hit happened, he walked away, what to me looked like this little swag or whatever. I didn't see him go back there and try to help Travis up. I didn't see no immediate apology. At least I didn't see. Maybe y'all know. I just didn't see. So hold on.
He hit it with his chest.
Carl Reed Jr. works for 247 and CBS Sports. He's the one that got the information from Dion that Travis Hunter was going to be out 3 weeks. I think Skip Bayless also had that the liver was lacerated, but he did pose this question really quickly on Twitter.
I have a question for the college football fans out there today. If Shiloh Sanders would have done to the number one receiver on the opposite team in any week what was done to Travis Hunter in the game this past Saturday, what would the narrative be today?
Go.
Well, I mean, we already know it would be polar opposite of what we're discussing right now.
Right.
But at the end of the day, that's nor here nor there. I mean, that's hindsight. You know what I mean? Hindsight is 2020. Yeah, you can pose that hypothetical, but at the end of the day, we all know probably what the narrative would be. But it is what it is at this point.
That damn Shedeur Sanders is him. Okay. Shedeur Sanders, what he did, he does not blink. And I watched him at Jackson State. He did the same thing at Jackson State. He's not doing nothing new. If you watch him at Jackson State, he's the same guy. He does not get flustered. He has patience. He can throw the ball. He's accurate. He's smart. He's been coached by Tom Brady. I mean, Shedeur Sanders is a special player.
No, he's a superstar.
He has the demeanor of a Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't get moved. He doesn't get rattled. I've been on the sideline with him. He comes to the sideline. He's taking notes. He's trying to make adjustments. He's talking to his receivers. Again, all he wants to do is just give his receivers, his playmakers, an opportunity and a chance to get the ball.
We feel it when we see a superstar. Some stuff just easy. Some stuff don't sit here and overthinking. You can have paralysis by overanalysis. Just look at it for what you see with the eye test. He's a star. And the fun thing to see is what's going to happen during the NFL draft with Caleb Williams and Shedeur. That's something to talk about.
Right.
Oh.
Morris, you have your where did Fred go? I think he thought we were done. Morris, you have your Eagles going up against Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So really quickly, do you want to go ahead and do your quick prediction before we go? Go ahead.
Wow. This is a tough one.
They are 2-0, and it's Monday Night Football. So I'm just okay. Go ahead.
Both teams are 2-0. I do predict the Eagles will win. I'll say I'm a little concerned with Bowles, because last time we went there for the playoff game, he had a pretty good plan against Jalen Hurts, and it was a different team at that point in time.
Different time, different quarterback. But they are. Listen. I root for people like Bowles, except when they play us. So I say the Eagles win by 4.
Okay, Clarence. Who do the Cowboys have next? Real quick, go.
They got the Cardinals. They got Joshua Dobbs.
Oh man, y'all got some
Jeffrey
easy
Dahmer.
wins.
What'd you just say?
They got some easy wins.
Joshua Dobbs, the quarterback, just got there 2 weeks ago. There's no way they should lose.
And then I guess we lost Fred. He thought that we were done, but listen, I appreciate everybody being on and doing your thing. We had a mega star-studded show. Everybody jumped in. So for I don't know what you looking like. Morris Chestnut over there looking like, I don't know what you looking like. T.O. looking like someone with the sunglasses. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking like a star.
Clarence over there looking like a cute dog. I appreciate it. I appreciate it for everybody. We are out.
Yeah, looking like a star. That's what it is.